And when it comes to this idea of like people realizing that they're stuck, let's say, or losing direction in their careers, what do you think typically lands people in those positions? Let's say if someone's early in their career right now and they want to avoid getting stuck in the future, what do you think are some of the telltale signs that you might be heading in that direction?
I would recommend like watching this video I mentioned for one, just like giving it's a 10-minute watch. It's the animated one. It's fun to watch. It's like a scribble video, right? Daniel Pink, called Drive, the Surprising Things That Motivate Us, or something like that. Um, and then I think watching that and asking yourself, if you're already feeling discontent, right? And asking yourself, of the three things that he mentioned, which one of these three might be happening for me, and then kind of trying to address that. So if it's mastery, seeing if you can get more challenge in your work. Sometimes we can find challenge outside our work, if it's not happening in our work, if other things about our work are pleasant enough to stay there, right? Because sometimes when we work somewhere a while, we get a certain amount of autonomy, right? One of the other ones. And that's hard to walk away from, because if you go into another company, you're not necessarily going to get that right away. Even at certain levels, you're going to have to work for that a while to build trust with your employer to get that. So I think, yeah, just asking yourself among those three, what might be happening. And if none of those three seem like they're like, okay, no, I have autonomy, I have purpose, I have, um, um, I can't think of the other one. I have autonomy, I have purpose, I have
Mastery.
mastery.
Yeah.
Um, then the other one I would add to that is connection, right? And so connection, how I describe connection is, yeah, you just feel like there's maybe a disconnect with the people around you that you work with, or even with the clients that you serve. You just feel like it just something feels a little off, like you're just not, feeling like they're your people, or that kind of thing. I think those are places to start.
Yeah, and that disconnection can be multiplied a lot in the remote work setting, right? So,
Exactly.
with so many people having gotten their first taste of remote work, how have you seen, I don't know, maybe the appetite for remote work change over the past, couple of years that we've been going through this craziness?
Yeah. Well, I'll just, if you don't mind me going back in time before the
Yeah.
2 years, I will a little bit, because for about 4 to 5 years, I've been asking people, everyone who I work with, I have them do just a tiny bit of journaling when we get started. And I ask them to tell me, um, to describe their ideal boss, their ideal colleagues, and to tell me to describe for me their ideal workplace. By workplace, I mean the place that you might go into work every day, right? And then your ideal workspace, which is different, which is like your more intimate workspace that you work at, right? Because I just like to get a sense of how people work, right, before I start working with them. And is by workspace, that can be like, do you like I'm a person, I like to kind of shift around. I
Mhm.
work at this desk sometimes, I work in my living room, I work at my kitchen. This is before COVID. I work at my kitchen table, coffee houses before COVID, right? Um, and so when I would ask people that, I would hear so much. I would hear, for workplace, I would hear, I'd like to work about 2 days of work, 2 days of work at home, and 3 days to work at the workplace, or vice versa, or 1 and 4, right? And I would just hear that so much, and I would think to myself, yeah, it's kind of anecdotal, because it's my, like we were saying before, it's my self-selected group of people that came to
Mhm.
see me, But I just thought, do employers know this? Do they know that how much people are kind of yearning to kind of work a bit just from home, and have that, maybe it's to be there for their kids or their dog, or just be able to, like, I live by a beautiful park in Portland that I really would miss if I couldn't walk in it, at least a few times a week, kind of thing. And um that was my first kind of rumbling of the fact that something was going on there. And then when COVID hit, and most people were, I should say, were forced to, or not most people, but like maybe half the workforce was forced to work from home. Yeah, I guess to answer your question, I think that it didn't surprise me that people are wanting to continue to work from home, or wanting that. I think it's flexibility is the word, right? They want the option, especially if they feel like, wow, my work isn't customer facing, or even if it is, I can do it from home.
Mhm.
Why are you making me come into work and drive a half an hour or an hour or more, I think it's really not surprising when you think about it, because we
Yeah.
want control of our lives. We're adults.